There's a lot of teenage romance in this movie. Uh-oh. First off, everybody knows now that Valdi the Baldy is back, and his Death Eaters are going around wreaking havoc everywhere. They destroy a bridge and blow up the wand shop and kidnap Mr. Ollivander from the first movie because, I don't know, I guess they just enjoy being a bunch of violent jerks. Also, there's a scene where all the Death Eaters are plotting and scheming, and Snape is there. What the heck, Snape? Actually, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Snape says he's spying on the Order of the Phoenix for the Death Eaters, and he makes a magic promise called an unbreakable vow to protect Draco Malfoy and finish his evil task if he fails. So Harry Potter is eating out by himself, and he says hi to this waitress, and they agree to hang out afterwards, but Dumbledore shows up across the street, and so much for Harry's date plans. They go to this weird abandoned house, and the whole place looks messed up, but there's this one chair that's suspiciously comfy looking, and turns out the comfy chair is this guy named Professor Slughorn. He used to be the potions teacher at Hogwarts, but he quit, and Dumbledore talks him into coming back using Harry as a way to talk him into it. Harry says hi to Ron and Hermione and Ginny, and there's a weird energy with Harry and Ginny that I have a feeling will come up later. They go to Diagon Alley and they see Malfoy and they follow him to a secret meeting with Death Eaters, so Harry now thinks Malfoy is a Death Eater. When they get on the train to Hogwarts, Harry uses his invisibility cloak to try to spy on Malfoy, but Malfoy figures it out and petrifies him. Luckily for Harry, Luna Lovegood finds him and gets him off the train. At Hogwarts, there's some interesting stuff going on here. Slughorn is the potions teacher, which is usually Snape's job, but Snape is the defense against the dark arts teacher, even though we know he's a Death Eater. Also, Harry gets his hands on a used potions textbook that says it's property of the Half-Blood Prince, and it makes him unusually good at spells and stuff because a lot of really helpful notes are in it. The most interesting thing, though, is that Dumbledore is having Harry look in his pensive about memories of the kid version of Valdi the Baldy. Dumbledore thinks Professor Slughorn has a memory of Kid Valdi the Baldy that will have the information they need to defeat the adult Snake Man version of him. So he wants Harry to get to know Slughorn and get the memory, since Slughorn will not give it to Dumbledore. Harry gets in good with Slughorn since Harry is now good at potions because of his Half-Blood Prince book. Turns out, Slughorn has a special organization called the Slug Club where he has private dinners and parties with Hogwarts students that he thinks are really smart or cool and have a bright future. This is kind of weird, honestly. Slughorn is kind of weird in general, to be honest. He makes me feel just a little bit uncomfortable. You get the sense that he's the type of guy who likes to name drop a lot. Regardless, Harry manages to impress Slughorn and get a luck potion from him. Meanwhile, Ron gets on the Quidditch team and there's this goofy girly girl named Lavender Brown who likes him. I kind of wonder if she just likes Ron because he's on the Quidditch team now. There's this awkward bit where Gryffindor wins the Quidditch game and Lavender kisses Ron in front of everybody, and Hermione gets upset since she secretly likes Ron and hasn't told him yet. Harry goes to talk with her and make her feel better, and he's got his own problems since he likes Ron's sister Ginny and she's dating somebody else too. Harry spends Christmas with Ron's family and it's supposed to be a good time, but Death Eaters attack the place and destroy Ron's house. One day, Ron accidentally takes a love potion that some girl meant to give to Harry, so he starts acting silly. Since it's a potion problem, Harry goes to Slughorn and they fix it, but Slughorn offers them both some wine he was going to give Dumbledore, and Ron gets poisoned when he drinks it. Harry thinks fast so Ron doesn't die, and they go to the infirmary. While Ron's in recovery and he's kind of delirious, all the teachers are there, and Harry and Hermione and Ginny. Lavender Brown shows up and she's looking real goofy, and Ron says Hermione's name, and Lavender thinks that means Ron would rather date Hermione instead of her, and I think that's true. So Lavender dumps Ron, which is probably for the best. Later, Harry confronts Malfoy since that dude has been acting shady all year, and Harry thinks he's responsible for the poisoned Slughorn wine plus another attack on a student with a cursed necklace. Harry saw this spell in a book called Sectum Sempra, and it said for enemies, and he wasn't sure what that meant, so he uses it against Malfoy, and Malfoy gets hurt really bad. Snape shows up to undo the spell, and I think Harry made a big mistake here. I know Malfoy's a bad guy and all, but your wand is basically a Star Trek phaser, Harry. You're supposed to set phasers to stun if you're gonna fight Malfoy, not set phasers to kill, of course. So if you set phasers to I don't know, then how can you be sure it's not going to do something really horrible? Ginny gets worried that Harry's used potions book has dark magic stuff in it, so she talks him into hiding the book in the room of requirement. They go there together and have a moment alone, so she gives him a smooch. Ooh. Harry decides that the only way he's going to have a shot at getting this Slughorn memory is by using the luck potion. His personality gets all weird and he goes to say hi to Slughorn and they say hi to Hagrid, and Hagrid's big spider buddy Aragog dies, so he's all sad, and they go back to Hagrid's hut where Hagrid and Slughorn have a drink or three. Then, Harry manages to talk Slughorn into giving him the memory Dumbledore was looking for. Harry brings the memory back to Dumbledore and puts it in the pensive and they watch it. Apparently, Kid Baldy the Not Yet Baldy had asked Slughorn about something called a Horcrux, which is this creepy dark magic necromancy thing where you take part of your soul and put it in an object. So if somebody tries to kill you, maybe your body gets screwed up, but you can be brought back to life using one of the objects. Baldy the Baldy apparently wants to use that to become immortal and be a snake man forever. Dumbledore thinks there are 6 of these Horcrux things, and 2 of them have been destroyed already. One is a ring that Dumbledore found and took care of, and another was the Tom Riddle diary that Harry Potter stabbed with the basilisk fang in the second movie. Since Harry is loyal to Dumbledore and they trust each other completely, Dumbledore brings Harry with him to a place where he thinks the next Horcrux is. Now, I really do wonder why Dumbledore didn't bring some more experienced wizards or witches with him instead of a teenager. Like, Harry's cool and all, but he's still in school and doesn't have all the skills he needs for a situation that might get super dangerous. You gotta figure that if Baldy the Baldy has hidden parts of his soul in various things, then he's hidden them all over England with traps everywhere, so that anyone who tries to get one will die horribly. For instance, Dumbledore got badly injured when he took care of that ring, and Harry almost got killed getting rid of the book. So Harry and Dumbledore go to this cave where there's supposed to be another Horcrux, a locket that belonged to the original Slytherin guy. To get it, you have to drink this water from a creepy bowl thingy, and the water makes you really sick, but you have to drink all of it. So Dumbledore drinks the bad water and is not doing so good. So once they get the locket, he asks Harry to get him some regular water. Harry tries to do that, and some creepy demon guys come out of the water to attack them, so Dumbledore makes a ring of fire to stop them and they teleport out of there. Once they get back to Hogwarts, turns out Malfoy used this thing called the Vanishing Cabinet to sneak Death Eaters into Hogwarts through the Room of Requirement. Turns out Malfoy's job is to kill Dumbledore on behalf of Baldy the Baldy. Malfoy can't do it though, since he doesn't have the guts. Malfoy may want to be a bad guy since his parents are bad guys and his parents' friends also pressure him to be one of the bad guys, but Malfoy is just a dumb kid, honestly. Doesn't seem like he's cut out for that. Dumbledore makes sure Harry hides and Snape sees Harry and tells him to stay hidden. Harry thinks Snape is going to help Dumbledore against Bellatrix Lestrange, a werewolf guy named Fenrir Greyback, and other Death Eaters. But suddenly Snape uses a killing curse against Dumbledore, blasting him off a cliff, and puts the dark mark in the air. Dumbledore is dead! What the heck? This is so bad! What are they gonna do? The Death Eaters wreak havoc on campus and burn Hagrid's hut on their way out. Bellatrix Lestrange is all like, "Hey Snape, you deal with Harry Potter, I'm out of here." Harry is full of rage and sadness, so he tries to fight Snape using the spells he learned, but Snape is like, "Nah, it's not gonna work, nice try, dummy. You trying to use my own spells against me? I'm the Half-Blood Prince." So Snape gets out of there. Afterwards, everybody else is grieving since Dumbledore died, and Harry finds out that the locket is fake and there's a message inside from someone called R.A.B. saying that they got the real Horcrux and they're gonna destroy it. So Harry, Ron, and Hermione are going to skip their last year of Hogwarts and focus on destroying the remaining Horcruxes so that the good guys have a real shot at defeating Baldy the Baldy for realsies. I really feel for Harry, you guys. In the last movie, he lost Sirius Black, who was his godfather, and in this movie, he lost Dumbledore, who was his mentor and also kind of like a cool grandpa that could take care of all of your problems if it came to that. Like in the last movie when Baldy the Baldy showed up, I was like, uh-oh. But then Dumbledore showed up and I thought, haha, Baldy, you're screwed. Dumbledore is going to kick your butt. And by the way, you're Baldy and you don't have a nose. But now there's no Dumbledore. So I'm glad Harry has Ron and Hermione to help him. They're just teenagers, sure, but they're loyal and they've been through some fights, and frankly, Harry is going to need all the help he can get. This movie is really exciting and intense, even if it feels more like the first part of the end of the overall Harry Potter story instead of something where the story begins and ends in the same movie. I'm really excited for the last Harry Potter movies though. Even though it's a two-part, I hear they're really good. But since Harry takes drugs to get what he wants, the love potion, and uses a weapon irresponsibly against a classmate, the Sectum Sempra spell with his wand, this movie is not for kids, like at all, and I'll say it's okay for teenagers.